Hello, everyone. Welcome to the pre-show, the Code X podcast. As usual, I'm your host, Sonny Kruger. I'm joined by my co-hosts today, as usual, Mighty Mike Harbor, and the one and only, the Ric Flair of comic books himself,
Woo!
Uncle Gary.
Thank you. Good to be here with you, Sonny.
Good to be here. The world famous Sonny Kruger.
Yeah,
Sonny
so you may
Kruger.
wonder, why does it say the world famous Sonny Kruger? Last time, if you saw last week's episode, Dan Kelly happened to look me up, and he typed in the world. I said, "Oh, you could find me on Google if you type in Sonny Kruger." And he said, "Oh, I'll type in the world famous." I'm like, "Oh, I don't know about that." And when you type in the world famous Sonny Kruger, I still show up.
Nice.
So
Well, Freddy Krueger's brother should be famous.
I'm bigger than him. I said one day the world would say Kruger, oh, like Sonny Kruger.
Sonny Kruger.
Yeah, I'm making my ways. I'm making it happen. And too, there's also the actress Diane Kruger who's supposed my way, and then a hockey player, Kruger. So,
And if you're mad, you're just like a currency.
yeah,
A Kruger.
yeah. Also too, but Freddy goes into people's nightmares. I like to think I go into people's dreams.
It's the man of your dreams.
Now it sounds like sexy talk. Hey, Richard, what's up?
Hey,
bud?
Richard.
No, it's
And Richard is right. Hit that like button. Do some
Do
push-ups.
Just push-ups, baby. Did tomorrow 420. I got to do. So we'll get them.
And Richard is
push
already
myself out of bed.
picking his variant insanities. TMNT 31 variants.
So
Damn, Mike, you're both in the shop today. Did you ask about?
no, I didn't.
We both knew we were going to be on this show. We didn't ask about variants.
Yeah.
What the hell's wrong with us?
And Richard, you're right. True. Number one, true. Codex is the best comic YouTuber channel. Thank you, Richard.
Thank you for the vote of confidence, Richard. If everybody thought the way you did, we would have how many millions? But then we wouldn't be the mom and pop shop that we are. So you know what? I kind of like that too. So we've got a dedicated cadre of people that we love, like Richard. So.
Yes, and we will enjoy it before we become all rich and famous and all that stuff. We'll enjoy it. And then there's Booge. Greetings
Hey,
and
Booge.
salutations. And to you as well.
Good to see you. Good to have you back in the fold, my friend. Missed y'all. I was off for a whole week.
Yeah, so we're glad to have you back. Hopefully you enjoyed your week off from Codex.
I was in Carolina. I was at Heroes Con.
Nice, yeah. So you're
Heroes
enjoying
Con. Yeah, it was a good time.
Buying all the books.
I ran into Colossus Collector and ran into Lithograph. So I got pictures with those two fellas and got to meet them in person. So that was kind of nice.
Yeah, nice to run into friends of the Codex station. One of these days, I've got to meet you guys all in person.
Well, we will invite you to come anytime you want to Baltimore, and one of these days we will make C2E2. It probably has to be after I retire. I got 2 more years because it's in the spring. It's a tough time for me to get there, but I will be there at some point.
Yeah,
Go west, young man.
I'm here, and sometimes even when I leave Chicago, somehow I always end up back in the Windy City. So.
And now you got Jamie in your backyard.
Yeah, so I'm actually thinking about moving out of Illinois, very far.
Wow, so Jamie
That's
got
Jamie?
there and now you're leaving. Wow.
No, there was a time when actually we did miss each other. Like I had went to Wisconsin as he was in Illinois, and then I came back to Illinois and he went to Wisconsin.
Is there a state law that only one of you can reside in the state at the time? Is that a thing?
I don't know, maybe, but nobody's told me. So
at this point, you'll stay where you're at for the time being.
for the time being, yeah,
For the
stay
time
here,
Okay.
try and enjoy it. Enjoy the rest of my time. I've been back in Chicago for 6 years now.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Jamie's what'd you say, about 45 minutes from you, where he's at?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, his address is no. I'm not gonna do that. But one thing I will mention is that 9 years ago on this, speaking of like moving, come back here, 9 years ago on this day was one of my last days of being a single man, because on June 27th of 2016, I went on a date, and it happened to be the woman I ended up marrying, my Maria.
You're Maria.
So yeah, so
I made you listen to that song, My Maria.
yeah, I always enjoyed this. I always
Yep.
Good pick. Good pick.
So 9 years ago.
Yes, 9 years ago.
Wow. Is her penance almost done for that she has to pay, or she got to stick around longer?
She's gonna have to stick around me forever.
Hey, Liz.
Man, she must have done some
Hey,
really
Liz.
bad things in a previous life. Hey, Liz.
And Bruce says Sonny also has a bunch of mutilated action figures buried in the backyard.
Well, he's from
No.
Chicago, so he's got that John Wayne Gacy in him. So he went and buried him.
No.
cross
Don't forget I was born in England, but raised in Chicago.
Well,
Okay, so he's got the what is it? Who's the
Ozzy Osbourne in
English,
my voice.
the English one?
yeah.
Jack the Ripper.
Jack the Ripper. Yeah, he's Jack the Ripper and John Wayne Gacy combined. Yeah.
I'm all innocent.
Mr. Keith, happy Wednesday.
Yeah, happy Wednesday.
Hey, Mr. Keith. And Liz. We saw Liz today.
Yeah.
I miss Liz. I didn't get to see her.
Liz got I left a little later than usual, and that's when Liz popped in there at the last minute. I think she's trying to avoid us, Mike.
Well, I can't say.
Yeah, she was looking at her watch going, damn, I thought he'd be gone by now.
Thought he'd be gone by now.
Thought he'd be gone by now.
Damn it, Jim.
Damn it.
Let me check something. You guys, a lot of times, sometimes you guys will have sports on the background, and right now is the NBA draft. We're just waiting to see who the Mavericks get.
Well,
But
I think it's pretty clear who the Mavericks are going to get.
it should be Cooper Flag, but they've made some very bad decisions.
Listen, our poor Wizards finished with the third worst record in the NBA. And through the stupid lottery, the worst they could pick is 7th. And they're picking 7th.
Man.
And the Mavericks had a
1.8%
chance of getting the number 1 pick, and damn if they didn't get it.
Can you say the fix is in?
Well, I would, you know what? I mean, I can't imagine it would be, because on the year where they made a crazy trade was insane, the worst trade ever, what are the odds that they could be in great shape in the draft?
Yeah.
It's like divine intervention somehow. Adam Silver.
It's just very messed up.
So Liz was doing shots this morning. So
is that what you said? She was doing shots?
She was late today, but had to get a couple shots this morning. So
okay, was that bourbon or
tequila?
Tequila. What shots were you getting, Liz?
Maybe in the arm.
In the arm? Why wouldn't you just drink them?
Yeah.
Who knows? We'll hope all is good. And Richard says, wait till Pam joins us to talk sports.
I know Pam misses out when we have sports talk. And I know it hurts her.
But guys, there's a lot to talk about too before we get on to the actual show. Today we will be reviewing Captain America issue 332.
It's shiny.
I mean, I had it in place. I took it out because it points to maybe opening it.
Yeah.
But I will be the man with the 5 statements for right or wrong.
Greg's waving.
And speaking of Captain America will join us on the random panel of the week. And so next week, there will not be an episode of the Codex podcast. So we'll be doing a little bit of celebrating of the 4th of July. This time, especially when it comes to the F list. Oh, a certain very American man. Some say he's fighting. Some say he likes to fight. Some may call him an agent. He's got a few names.
Ooh.
But you'll see. And then he also has been known to his very famous image of him riding a missile. But we'll get to that later. And then, of course, we'll be having Variant Insanity. I think people are going to be a little surprised this week. And then, of course, there's a lot of comic book news. And one thing I did want to mention was that June is Men's Mental Health Awareness Month. So everybody take care of yourselves. Yes, it is men's, but also men, women, everybody. Take time, take care of yourself, do some things that make you happy, whether it be watching a podcast, reading a comic book, listening to music, or sometimes breathe.
It's too late for us, but please help yourself.
Yes. Some of us are doomed.
We are doomed, but there's hope for you all out there.
You've all got a chance, yes, to breathe. Sometimes I get excited about things and I just need to breathe. And I'm a praying man, but even if you're not Like I said, we could all breathe. We all live and we all breathe. So take those deep breaths.
Some of these action figures are afraid to exhale.
You'll find
They were never
them.
able to. I swear
That's
they
'cause
weren't
you
able
smothered them when you first got them.
to. With love.
With love. With
Oh,
love.
with
Let's
love.
So yeah, Belly, Belly,
Belly shots. Woo!
Ooh.
Oh, now you're talking Mike's language. He loves belly
Yeah.
shots. Yeah.
Come on, Liz. Yeah,
Yeah. He likes to get bit by a rabid animal so he can have as many belly shots as possible.
exactly.
Yeah.
Usually it's Gary.
Boom, there you go.
And Boo just got some news. He says 40 years ago today, D-Man made his comics debut.
And he dumb man. D-man. Dennis
Yeah,
Dumpy, D-man. We just saw a panel with D-man today. When I read that book, D-man was on there.
Yeah. Speaking some other things for you all to check out, always feel free to find us on all the socials at the Codex Station. Feel free to go to www.thecodexstation.com and have some fun every day on the Facebook page, Comic Character of the Day. That's where I met most of these guys.
That's right. That's where the magic happened.
And of course, if you want to find some good old comic books, if you're in the area, with one of you guys, would you tell everybody about Comic Logic?
Mike and I are there every week. Mike, talk about Comic Logic.
Comic Logic, Loudoun County of Virginia's only comic store.
Yep.
Come see us in Ashburn, Virginia. We have new comic books every Wednesday, including the new history of the DC Universe, which just dropped today.
Can't wait to read it. Did you read it?
No, not yet.
Oh, can't wait to read it.
Yeah,
they got me, Mike. They got me for 7 different covers of that damn thing.
Really?
Mike, how many did you see you got again?
I thought I had 6, but I may have 7 as well.
Yeah, I got 7 of those damn things.
Well, guys, I'll mention it. The Mavericks did get Cooper Flagg. They did get him. So,
wow, that's a shocker.
So I was actually a little not too sure. I was like, what are they going to do?
How are you not too sure? You knew he was going to be.
They lost Luca, so.
What? Listen, why would you put the fix in and not take him? Come on.
Well, at least they did, but I still will never be truly like it was back in the day. I will always hold that against them losing.
When you see who the Wizards pick, let us know.
All right, I will. I will put that on. I have it right next to me. But speaking of June, how we said men's mental health awareness month. I did want to say that June is also Scleroderma Awareness Month. That's why I have the shirt on that says hope. So scleroderma is an autoimmune disease. It affects your blood type, your skin tightening a lot, and can affect your heart, your lungs, your kidneys. And it's a disease that my mother has. So that's why it does touch me. And that's why each year I do a walk in Aurora. So this year, August 3rd, I will be doing the walk for scleroderma.
Very nice.
Very nice.
That's something I did like to mention. And not many people mention it's not too known of a disease. Actor and comedian Bob Saget, his sister Hope, had it, and he would mention it. But then eventually Bob Saget passed away. So now not many people are talking about it. So I wanted to mention it.
Good on you.
I try to do good. And Liz said, she said, I got that today, the cool, shiny Wonder Woman cover.
Liz, I knew you would.
Yeah.
So, guys, let's see. Anything else before we jump onto the actual show? Oh, yeah, there's a way people can win some comic books.
Ooh.
And that's right. June's Codex giveaway. Here's look at that. You can get some Marvel Age. You can get the Moon Knight, his first official story of his own. You get What If featuring the Beast in The Thing, which was also Shella Ball's first appearance as the Herald of Galactus.
The Beast
on our page. Yeah.
She had cosmic power in that. Yep.
Yeah, her first time with it. So sure to go up in price after next month, after Fantastic Four. First Steps comes out. I still almost go to call it Baby Steps many times, but it is First Steps, not
Baby Steps. Baby Steps.
I'm baby stepping.
Yeah. Boys, like I said, I'll tell you, but even with number 7 pick, it's still going to be like a half an hour or something before they eventually get to it. So I can focus on that a little bit later And now, I think it's time that we can jump on to the actual show.
All right, let's do it.
Make it so number one.
So officially welcome to this episode of the Codex Podcast. We had a great pre-show talking about a lot of stuff, and a lot of people have been joining us. Look who else joined us. The guy with those eyes.
The eyes.
And listen, you screw around now, he can be right and knocking on your door for the end of the show. So you better be on your best behavior.
You know me. I'm usually very wild. My wild language, and you guys are always like, Sonny, calm down. We got kids watching. You got to keep me behaved.
Well, we do have to. We do have to make sure that you are adhering to societal standards of norms. So we have to rein you in all the time. But now that Jamie's there, Jamie can take up. He can take a more direct hand in managing you.
Yeah. So if that doorbell rings, I'll be like, no, anybody who's coming in has to have the keys. not opening the door. And there's Dan Kelly. This is it. And if you like that, wait till you see next month's giveaway.
Oh.
I don't even know what it is, but yeah. So
it's broken action figures. The tub of them.
Oh, I can't be up for it. I can't win that. But yeah, again, the June's month giveaway. There you go. You can see the 3 comic books you can win. You got till the end of the month, and well, you only got a few days left to get in on it. And we have hundreds of entries this time. We're past 800. I know for sure past 800 entries. Wow. Doesn't mean 800 people, but remember, everybody, you can get multiple entries. The more you share it, the more people you tag. Each one entry. So you tag 500 people, you get 500 entries to win some classic comic books from the Codex Station.
Very good.
So again, today on the Codex Podcast, we will be reviewing Captain America number 332, The Choice. Also, we'll be having somebody who's very American, and his anatomy and his body size doesn't really work out too well. It's when you see him, you will know who drew him. It is Agent America. But that's later on to the show. Of course, we'll be having Captain America on the random panel of the week. But before that, we'll be having Variant Insanity, and I will be the man with the 5 statements and right or wrong. But first, we go off to the comic book news / the rundown. There's set to be a big crossover, and that is that Daredevil and Green Arrow will have a crossover. Marvel and DC, they're starting to have the crossovers, and now Daredevil and Green Arrow will have a crossover, and it will be written by Kevin Smith with the art by Adam Kubert. So,
nice.
Oh, I like that. Kevin Smith wrote both those characters.
Yep.
Yeah. So
now see
crossover.
Deadpool and Batman. Green Arrow and Daredevil with Kevin Smith writing it. I'm on board with that.
I'm over with that one.
I'm really on board with that. Yeah.
Many were very happy seeing it. I was happy with that one too. I think that's even bigger news. And then also what we had going on is, speaking of the Marvel side, John Bernthal is the Punisher, is set to be in a new Spider-Man movie, Spider-Man Brand New Day. So the John Bernthal Punisher that's been in Daredevil, that had his own show on Netflix. He'll be in Spider-Man Brand New Day. And that is set to come out right now. It's looking at a July of 2026 release. Who knows? Delays, but
tonally that'll be interesting because where he really fits in with the tone of the Daredevil movie is pretty violent and all that. But the Spider-Man movie, man, Spider-Man's going to hate him. just kind of like the comics, but I'm surprised they're putting that level of a street level violent character into a Spider-Man movie.
Yeah, I think it's great. I think it's a good sign for the new Spider-Man movie. That gets me excited for it. And speaking of getting excited, let me see. Dan Kelly had said Sonny almost got excited for some action figure BDSM.
Ooh.
I don't kink shame. And Boo said, he said a bunch of limbs to glue together to make your own figure.
Sonny, that may be my favorite quote. You know,
Frankenkruger.
I like it. Sonny, nice. Frankenkruger. Oh, Sonny, nice, nicely done. Yeah, Mike is holding up the invisible variant.
The invisible variant of the Captain America.
Mike calls me an hour ago. I can't find my Captain America 332.
But about that crossover, Rouge said it was a rad crossover, a rad one. Liz said she would read it, and Rouge said he wrote them both well, but yeah, he wants it to be gritty, and not sure Smith can go there.
Well, hope he does.
Crossover. We'll see if he does go.
You know what? Maybe not gritty, but I tell you what, both his Daredevil story and his Green Arrow run were really interesting.
Yeah,
they're very interesting. So I have hopes.
Good crossover.
I have hopes.
Me too. And Batman is set to start over with issue number 1 on September 3rd. And there's set to be multiple variant covers. And what's it called? The new thing, how there's going to be so many. One of the new themes is going to be called Blind as a Bat. I'll get some info on that as to who will be some of those cover artists for the variants in just a moment. But also, Jessica Jones is set to have her new series. She had one on Netflix, and it's in development. Kristen Ritter, again, will be playing the role of Jessica Jones. And speaking of females playing some very cool, tough characters, Chun-Li has been cast in the new Street Fighter movie for next year. Actress named Kalina Liang. Maybe I'm pronouncing it right. Yeah. Kalina Liang has been cast to play Chun-Li in a new Street Fighter movie. But guys, we've been talking a bit about that crossover between Daredevil and Green Arrow, and some of the, that's the main story, but some of the backstories, the mini ones, like obviously we were talking about there's going to be Batman and Deadpool, but some of the backstories, the quicker ones, the crossover is going to be Captain America and Wonder Woman.
I like that.
And then the other one is Jeff the Land Shark and Crypto.
I like that. I like that better than Batman Deadpool.
Deadpool, yeah.
I think those little ones actually have more. I think out of the 4 they've announced, I think Batman Deadpool has people the least excited out of all 4.
I still say if they had really balls, it'd be Deadpool, Deathstroke.
They need to, but
I like that. And there was something I was thinking about last week, and I was trying to see what I put down, but there was a Deadpool crossover, and I can't remember who I thought it. I like Deathstroke, but there was somebody else that I thought Deadpool would be really good with, and I just can't remember who I was talking about now because I'm old and I can't remember stuff. Oh well.
Youngblood. No.
Deadpool Damien.
No, I can't remember who it was now. Maybe it'll come to me. It was a DC character. But I was like, okay, now I'd like to see that.
I think Hitman would be a pretty cool crossover with Deadpool.
That's who. No, it was Deadpool. No, it's Peacemaker.
Peacemaker. Oh, that would be good.
Yeah, it was. See, Deadpool, Peacemaker, 2 totally ridiculous, extreme assholes. I think that would be great.
That would be.
Deadpool, awesome. Peacemaker. That one I'd be
by Ambush Bug.
Yeah.
Yes. Get Ambush Bug in there.
There you go.
Ambush Bug, he's a good one for those are 3 characters that sometimes for, let's say, random panels. There's a lot of good random panel of the weeks from those 3 characters.
Oh yeah, Ambush Bug, such an ass. Yeah, didn't Waller have her in the Suicide Squad? It was just like a total disaster.
Dude, there is an issue, with Ambush Bug is on there. It's like, I think I'm in the wrong comic book.
Yeah. He was kind of doing his own thing, teleporting in and out of trouble.
Deadpool Plastic Man.
Deadpool Plastic Man. There you go. That's another one that would be good. Yeah, because I think putting him with another ridiculous character is the way to go. And to get totally ridiculous, Deadpool, Deathstroke, and then the parody character Palmiotti and Connor made Red Tool. Put them all together.
Yeah. All right, we've got some comments. Let's see. Boo just saying it can still be good, but someone like Brubaker would have been cool for Daredevil and Green Arrow, I believe. Yeah, I said, yeah, I agree. Yeah, Smith, both characters well. And Dan says, out of all the crossovers, I'm looking forward to Daredevil and Green Arrow.
Me too.
And let's see. Liz says she still wants to see Catwoman and Black Cat. And she gets her own title again starting in August. Will be perfect for the crossovers. I agree, Liz.
That'd be cool.
Maybe we could have panels where they change costumes. I would like that.
Yeah.
Dan says he thinks you said Deadpool Nightwing. Maybe that might have been the one you mentioned in the comment.
I thought it was Peacemaker.
Nightwing can be a smart ass.
Yeah, Peacemaker would be fun, though. Mr. Keith says, I can't wait for the ending of Daredevil and Green Arrow when Matt runs for Alderman and Ollie, reinvests in urban development, and renames in Heaven's Kitchen.
Wow, now that, Mr. Keith, you put a lot of thought into that. So
yeah,
anything that you put that much thought into, I'm on board with. I like the Cap Wonder Woman. I like that a lot.
Yeah,
that should be a full issue.
Yeah,
I'm really surprised it's not. I'm surprised it's not, but it should be good. Yeah, like I said, so many interesting crossovers that could happen. That's what makes it so fun when we know about this coming up, with DC and Marvel. Like, who could be? It could be this person, that person. And also, like I said, with Deadpool and Batman, we know they're having a crossover, but that doesn't mean they can't have other crossovers. Like we said, maybe we will still see Deadpool and Peacemaker. Maybe we'll see Batman and somebody else.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. But speaking of Batman, when it comes to Batman #1, getting all those variants, the lineup of those variant cover artists are going to be David Aja, J. Scott Campbell, Gabriel Del Otto, Jorge Jimenez, Andy Kubert, Stan Lee, Art Germ Lau, Jim Lee, Frank Quitely, Mark Silvestri, and Julian Totino Tedesco.
Let me just give you my money right now.
Yeah.
So those are the ones who, it's going to be. And that's like I said, come out September 3rd. And then when we were talking about, speaking of things coming up, when we were talking about Spider-Man and the Punisher going to be in Brand New Day, right now the date is they're saying that the date is July 31st of next year.
Very good.
Still set to have most of the main characters, most of the main cast in the other 3 Spider-Man movies. So the main cast still returning. So that should be fun. And that the filmmaker this time who's going to direct it will be a different one. It will be directed by Destin Daniel Cretton, and he did Shang-Chi and the Legend of the Ten Rings.
Where did we leave Spider-Man after the last movie? Was that the one with Maguire and
Spider-Man,
yeah.
And so did we leave it where the people around him didn't know Peter was Spider-Man? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
They'd been erased.
Yeah, he'd been erased from everybody's consciousness.
Dan says, and they're doing blind bag foil variants for all the Batman covers. Oh, it's interesting. They, taking it from that, what was his name? The Beast.
Oh yeah.
From Invincible, I believe he's getting his
Battle Beast.
Battle Beast, yes, Battle Beast. With those variants and how you don't know who you're gonna get or what cover you're gonna get. So it looks like they're gonna do that for Batman as well.
They did that a few years ago with Harley Quinn. They had some of her variants, and you didn't know what you were going to get.
Yeah, Harley Quinn Deadpool would be one I would like to see. I think they'd have a really good.
Well, you know what? That
crossover.
Better than Batman Deadpool. Yeah.
Although Boosh had Batman Moon Knight, that would be pretty cool.
Yeah, we did hear that. Yeah, so that would be a fun one.
I like that.
Mr. Keith said, Bernthal's Punisher has been fortunate enough to be in a series where they can show him with much more depth.
Oh, absolutely. You know what? I would take a Nightwing Winter Soldier.
Yeah, that would be good.
Because they're a lot alike. So
yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe it'd be Red Hood and Winter Soldier would have a lot in common, but
they would probably have a little more in common. Yeah. Good point.
Yeah, and then Mr. Keith says, also, I hope Punisher and Spider-Man team up to fight the Russian. Roof. And then we got some scammer. We got some spam. in the comments, but I will not show that.
You said a scam, not Pam.
No, well, Pam might be there.
No, I can't see comments. I don't know what's here.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had some spam trying to get us in. See, I always watch before I click and let it be known what's out there. Yeah, I got you backs. But so everybody also to Street Fighter. I know it was more the game came out like in the early 90s. Not more. I know there's been obviously some comics made of it, but it's more based on the video game. What do you guys think about Street Fighter? Any excitement for that?
Was that one a PlayStation game? No, I know the one PlayStation played was Streets of Rage.
Streets of Rage, yeah, that was.
That's the one I know.
Street Fighter was the arcade game, right?
Right, the arcade game, yeah. And then they made them to Sega, but yeah. So the arcade game.
I remember seeing the movies. Was that Jean-Claude Van Damme?
Yep. Jean-Claude Van Damme, he did play
the muscle from Brussels.
Yeah.
Yeah, those splits. I could do those splits. But you have to break my legs, though.
You do it once. Do it once.
Yeah, once, and then be broken. Yeah.
Do the splits once.
When talking about fighting, Mr. Keith was talking about fighting the Russian, and Bruce says, "Wait, with Kevin Nash returning as the Russian? Who knows? Maybe he still will act every now and then."
Was Kevin Nash also Sabretooth?
No,
that was different. That was Tyler Mane.
Yes, Tyler Mane. Yeah, but Kevin Nash, was the Russian in The Punisher, the one with Thomas Jane.
What about Niecy?
That was a good movie.
Yeah, I really like that one. Yeah,
maybe it could be Niecy Nash. Could be the Russian.
Yeah, so we will see a lot that could happen with it. Still no details as to who's going to be the villain. Maybe it'll be Kingpin. Maybe that's why they'll have like Punisher, because Spider-Man has fought Kingpin so many times, but not in any live-action movies.
I think you're right. And over the years, he's become more of a Daredevil villain than a Batman.
Yeah,
he was the best part of the Thomas Jane movie.
That was a great scene. That was a great scene.
I really dug Joe Ely in the brief role as the Memphis hitman in that movie too. So I thought Joe Ely had
comes in playing the guitar.
Yeah, had the teardrop. I thought Joe Ely was really cool in that.
Yeah, that was good. Yeah, and you too. I like that. You like that song? I'm gonna play it at your funeral.
Yeah.
I've seen that movie many times, and actually, when I went to see that at the theater, I was a teenager, like early teens, maybe 13, 14, and everybody was just going in, and then for some reason, me and my brother, they gave us comic books, and it was facsimiles of Spider-Man issue number 129, first appearance of Punisher.
Oh, nice!
But they won't give it to anybody else, just us. So cool. Still got it to this day.
This past weekend, I met the man that co-created the Punisher. I met Jerry Conway.
Nice. Yeah, that was what kind of Heroes Con?
Heroes Con in Charlotte, North Carolina. That's one of the best shows in the country about the creators, about the writers and the artists.
Was he signing Punisher books?
If you brought him, sure.
Really?
Yeah,
because I know he disavowed him.
Yeah, he was signing Punisher books.
Awesome. All right, guys. Any of the comic book news you want to jump on before we move on to some insane stuff?
Insanity. Let's do it.
Let's go crazy.
Let's get nuts.
All right, Sal is just going nuts with this. Sal,
he's doing the Running Man,
Sal, well done. I mean,
that was great, Sal.
I know. What the heck, man? Sal's his own. Sal is a one-man production company.
The interesting thing is that he gives you all the credit, Uncle Gary.
Yeah, well, that's because that's part of his mental illness.
You've inspired him.
Maybe I inspire him, but the old joke is I could barely log in to do this show every week, So yeah.
Oh, yeah, it literally jumped on today, and it was like 12, 11, 10, 9.
Well, I figure it's not serious until it's 5 of. And like I said, I want Sonny to sweat a little bit. And then Sonny texted that he's sweating. And I hadn't read it yet. I said, Sonny, I just wanted you to sweat that he had already texted me that he was sweating.
Yes. So.
So he texted me before, are you going to get on? I said, why? What's up tonight? What's up? So we have a show. I said, not tonight. So that's what Sonny
These are true stories. You've told me exactly the way they happen. Yes. Always making me sweat, but at least.
Oh man! I told you, Mike and I live to bedevil you. So there you go.
Yep.
And yet you keep asking us to come back. So the first time we did that was our fault. Every time after this is your fault, Bubba. Yeah. You're asking for this abuse.
Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on you.
Shame on you.
I was saying it like one of the former presidents said it. I'm trying to remember how he said it word for word, but I know he.
Oh yeah, I think it was Bush. I think Bush said messed it up. Yeah.
All right, and Bush said the music is gonna make me get some ecstasy for next week's Fear and Insanity.
Wow.
Oh, make sure to share, Bush.
Or exacti. I haven't had
Okay, to the exacti. Yeah.
Exacti is a variant of ecstasy. Let's see. He's keeping the theme going.
Ecstasy is also the name of a song by the band Vinnie Vincent Invasion. Wow. I know a lot of these metal bands.
Nice.
Yeah.
So what kind of invasion causes you ecstasy?
Oh, we're gonna have to. That's for after dark talk.
After dark. That's a good show for everybody. Okay, all right. Well, we can talk about that.
All right,
hey, like you said, no kink shaming.
That's right. No kink shaming here on Codex.
We're a safe place for kink. That
is right. Codex, the safe place for kink. We put that under.
All right. Jamie just got in his car.
He's heading over, and Sal's already making us the new opening. That
I can't wait to see Sal's at the safe place for kink.
Safe place for kink. The new slogan for the Codex station. Wow. This is taking a turn, fellas.
Jamie's gonna be mad. He's gonna drive here, but by the time he gets here, we're gonna be like, Jamie, did you see our subscribers? We've just jumped up 20,000 within an hour.
That's right. Gained subscribers and we lost clothing.
Yeah. But all right, guys, we are on Virant. It is insane. We are on Virant Insanity. Would you or anybody in the audience like to take a guess as to what comic book had the most variants this week?
All right. I'm going to guess this, just because I bought 7 copies, The History of the DC Universe, and I know there's at least 7 copies.
I'm going to say, I saw this book, I just remembered it, VR Troopers.
Is it Dynamite?
I think so.
If it's Dynamite, I'm sure you've got a hell of a shot at it.
Some kind of spinoff from the Power Rangers.
Okay.
Dan Kelly's also going with VR Troopers. Booge is going with Thundercats.
Thunder.
All right, so we got some, and Mr. Keith comes in with Silverhawks.
All good.
So we've got some different ones today. Usually it's a nice 1 or 2, but yeah, so we got some different comic books. What one had the most variants this week? And I'll tell you guys that it is not a Dynamite comic book this week.
Oh, now that's a shocker.
Shocker.
And then Boosh says, damn, it's going to be VR Troopers. Liz says, I'm with Gary, the new DC one. Let's do the DC Universe. And now I'll give you the countdown of the 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. This week, the comic book that had the most variants was... Mike, would you like to tell us which comic book it was?
VR Troopers.
Woo, look at that. Boom.
Boom.
Boom goes the Dynamite.
VR Troopers had the most variants this week. According to Sal, who does get his info from I'm going to pull a Bleeding Cool from a trusted resource. So VR Troopers has the most variants. Well, VR Troopers, I should say, issue number 1 has the most. Would you all like to take a guess as to how many variants it has?
Let's say Blackjack.
I'd say 15.
Okay, so we got 21, we got 15. Dan says, winner, winner, chicken dinner.
Hoorah.
Yes, let's see. We'll give everybody a moment to get in there.
How many variants would VR Poopers had? That would have been good.
Bruce says those plastic troopers. So yeah, anybody? Mr. Keith has a guess with 32, and Dan goes with 15. Boosh goes with 27. Liz goes with 12. Okay. And Liz, you are the closest one.
Wow.
Because VR Troopers has 13.
Wow.
13. Liz.
Covers this.
Liz is our winner.
She was the closest one without going over.
Yes.
So Price is Right rules in effect.
Yeah, so Boom Studios, VR Troopers issue number 1 has 13 variants. And, Sale does like to get to work. Look at that. He just gives us some info. Yeah, that the writer is Marguerite Scott, artist is Sebastian Perez, colorist is J.P. Jordan, the letterer is Taylor Esposito, and the cover artist is Taryn Clark.
Did Taryn Clark do all 13 covers?
I'm going to guess not all 13, but I'm going to say with the one that we were showing.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So there we go. VR Troopers wins with 13 variants. And yes,
there you go.
Celebrate that victory. And Bruce says 13, that's it. Why even do the variants? It's crazy when the 13 we do like, wow, that was it. Even when I saw it today, I'm like, 13 at the moment. 13 was the most.
Who said that's some amateur stuff there?
That's what I'm sure Dynamite is saying the same thing.
Amateur. Baker's dozen, that's amateur stuff.
Yeah, Dynamite's like, okay, you know what? Next week we need to push it and triple that. So
Dynamite did sign with a distributor. I can't remember if it's Lunar or Penguin.
It's Lunar.
Okay, it's Lunar. So did they have to tamp down their variants, which was part of the problem, Mike?
Possibly.
Maybe.
Yeah, because that was one of the reasons nobody wanted their ass, because they got too many variants. It's too much of a pain in the butt to, for the distributors.
And hey, they truly shows for it to be this week, for it to be Boom Studios and with 13, because we're used to it being Dynamite 20-something, 20-something, 40-something this week. But yeah. And Dan says they're getting towards the bottom of the barrel with these licensed properties now. What's next? Beetleborgs?
I don't know what a Beetleborg is, and I'm probably better for it.
I think it's the Beatles, but like they're cyborg versions.
So Ringo and Paul McCarthy and those guys are cyborgs.
Yeah, I think that's what it is. Yeah, I mean they should have a lot of variants coming out.
That would explain why Ringo Starr is still.
Yeah, so there's a lot, especially with the Beatles are gonna have like a set of movies. It's gonna be like 4 of them, each like focusing on each member. So that'll be coming out, but.
Oh.
Yeah, maybe there'll be some of those cyborg variants with the movie.
I just saw the clip for the Bruce Springsteen biopic with Jeremy Allen White.
That looks good.
In it, and it's interesting. He's really good in The Bear and was great in Shameless. So it'll be interesting to see him as Springsteen.
Yeah, I think he'll do a good job. And yeah, Bruce says, yeah, Dan, hopefully I did like the Borgs. And Liz says, wow. I know, Liz, it is wow. Like the Beatles being cyborgs. And that info was from Dan Kelly. So if it's not, blame Dan and not me. Because we saw right here, Dan said Beetleborgs.
Beetleborgs.
I'm sure he meant to spell it the regular way, like how the Beatles spell it. But, well, okay. Now, with that, we get on to our random panel of the week. Sometimes people get on our nerves, everybody. And sometimes we need to put them in their place. But sometimes we don't want to hurt them too bad. We got to try to be more peaceful. Like Captain America here, who is, look at that. There's a guy. You see the sound effect. Dang.
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 Yeah, as the guy is holding like his shield. And Captain America says, I don't want to hurt him. So I'll just lean back suddenly and show him the error of his ways. That's
And-
very
and
nice,
he-
Captain.
And Captain America backed that thing up into him.
Exactly, he did.
Oh shit!
So the Captain, backs that thing up into him.
Oh damn!
And it's the only time I've ever seen that or heard of that sound effect. Dang.
Bang!
Do
Yeah,
things, do
Bang.
thing, do bad things.
back that thing right up into him. Yeah.
Doing.
Doink, man.
Yeah. So. Well, there you go, Captain America. I wonder if he's ever used this tactic to fight anybody again. Like, I'm not even going to fight them. I'm just going to lean on them.
Mm. Yeah, I think that's a passive aggressive maneuver right there.
Yeah, I try to be a man of peace. So if I get into it, I may have to just try that. Someone tries to fight me, like, don't worry, I'm not even going to hurt them.
You back that thing up there?
I'm just going to back that thing up on them and lean on them.
There you go.
I'm sure it'll go really well.
Yeah,
I think so too.
what could possibly go wrong?
Yeah. Fighting tips from the Codex Station.
Yeah, hilarity will ensue.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah. I do really wonder what somebody would do if they were in a fight and they said, "I'm just."
Well, you know how the Taskmaster can, read all the fighting styles, so he could also back the thing up in there using the Captain America maneuver.
Mr. Keith is one of the best comments right here. He says, "We've all done that to the guy behind us on the plane."
Yeah.
Yeah.
I like the scene that reminds me of that scene in Fight Club when he Tyler Durden, Brad Pickett's up and he's like, now the question, do I give you like the butt or the penis as I go by you? Yeah. So I do like that. And one more time.
Dang.
Here we go.
Dang.
And so everybody, now that means that it's time to go to right or wrong. And I will be the man with the 5 statements. So here we go, everybody. Remember, in the comments, feel free to say right or wrong. All right. Number 1. Since, we're doing Captain America issue today, right? We just saw Captain in the random panel of the week. Number 1 statement. Rob Liefeld needs to draw Captain America again.
Oh, man, how much wrong do you need? Wrong. Never.
Wrong.
So wrong.
You do not need to see Captain America with breasts ever again.
And the one, one is big, the other is massive.
Evidently, he had a single mastectomy.
It was still a bit. It's weird that the one even though the one's a lot smaller, it still looks bigger. And Boo says wrong, but Mr. Keith says right. I'm also going to go with wrong. Okay, so number 2. And Boo, Liz had also said wrong for that one. And Boo says, but bring back Capwolf.
I'm okay with that. I like Capwolf.
Dan Kelly came in with the wrong, all capitals, exclamation marks. But now, number 2. The Daredevil Green Arrow crossover will be better than the Batman Deadpool crossover.
100% right.
Correct.
And this is when I was not joking. I do say right. I think that it will be better.
Yeah. Absolutely will be better.
Yes. So number 3. Spider-Man Brand New Day will be better than the first 2 Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland.
And we get the Punisher in there.
Yes.
Wow. God, the first one was so good, wasn't it? Because I love the Punisher, I'm going to say right.
I say right as well. And for number 2, Mr. Keith and Boucher both say right. Okay, so now and Liz had also said right for number 2 with that Daredevil Green Arrow crossover being better. Mr. Keith says for number 3, right as well. And so does Boosh. So now we go to number 4. Steve Rogers should always be Captain America.
Right.
Correct. There can
I
be
say
only
right.
one.
I go with right for Captain America. I like Steve Rogers being Captain America. And then now number 5, I go with the new. Since it was in the news, the new Street Fighter movie will be better than the new Masters of the Universe movie. Both of these are scheduled to come out next year.
Oh.
Wow.
Can we answer none of the above?
Yeah, you could.
I'm going to say right, just because with the Masters of the Universe movie, there seems like there's so much more that can go wrong. In the Street Fighter, the character is a little more simpler to have to figure out.
Yeah, I say right as well. I say right.
It's a very low bar.
Yeah.
And Mr. Keith had said right. Boosh had said wrong, but Liz had also said right. So, okay, there's our 5 statements, or my 5 statements. So let's go back to the beginning of them. So number 1 was that one where I said Rob Liefeld needs to draw Captain America again. Everyone was saying wrong, except for Mr. Keith had said right.
He believes in redemption, I guess. God bless you, Mr. Keith. You believe in the redemptive healing processes. I don't.
Yeah, I do believe in forgiveness and giving people second chances, but I don't think we need to see Rob Liefeld draw Captain. If he did, I would not want to buy it, but I would be tempted to look and see. I would be tempted just to take a look, one of those things that are so bad, but you can't look away. But Mr. Keith had said, he said right, because he said, yeah, I want to see what Rob Liefeld does with Captain America after 30 years of internet criticism.
Well, hasn't Liefeld defended that image of Cap and said it's really great or something like that? So I think he's all in on saying that image is just fine.
And then he actually did a picture of Sam Wilson, Captain America, just like it.
Yeah.
Not long ago, there's an image of that too. So I think he kind of gets the humor or all the criticism he gets. I think he kind of just plays with it now, but I don't think he ever has said, yeah, it's bad. Oh man, I'm embarrassed of it. I don't think he's ever said anything like that, to my knowledge. He does a lot of talking. I know he's got podcasts and this and that, so maybe he's mentioned it, but so far nobody has said that he's been like embarrassed or saying anything like that. Number 2 was the Daredevil Green Arrow crossover will be better than the Batman Deadpool crossover. And we've been talking about this, and everybody was pretty much on the right side with that one. Yeah. I think it'll be better. It's a better team up. Like I said, Kevin Smith has written both characters before. He's used to them. So I think it'll be a great crossover. I think it will be more street level. I think it's going to be a good fun one. And then there was number 3, Spider-Man Brand New Day will be better than the first 2 Spider-Man movies with Tom Holland. And yeah, we had right. Everyone was also going with right for that one. Yeah, like I said, I think with the Punisher being in there, that gets me excited. Loving the Punisher. It makes me think, the possibilities. Is it going to be Kingpin? Is it going to be somebody else? I didn't say it would be better than the third one because that one it was a big event of a movie with all 3. I don't know if it would be better than that one, but I think it'd be better than the first 2. I like the first 2 as well. I do like them. Yeah. I think this one will be a bit better. Just my thought. And then number 4 was Steve Rogers should always be Captain America.
Yeah.
And we were on, right? Mr. Keith had said wrong. Everybody else had said right. He's
being contrary today, and that's fine. We need divergent viewpoints. Yep. But no, with me, it should always be Steve Rogers.
And Liz is leaving. Take care, Liz, and thank you for always joining us.
Goodbye.
You can always check the rest of the show out later.
See you, Liz.
And Bruce said, I'm like Uncle. I said right because of the Punisher being in it.
That's exactly why. Because the first 2 movies were pretty good, especially the first one. So it's a high bar, but because of the Punisher, I'm gonna give it that extra hope.
And Dan Kelly this goes back to the first one. He says Rob Liefeld is to Captain America what Sonny Kruger is to a stack of action figures. Wrong.
I I'm good on that sentiment too. I think Dan is right on the money.
I say very wrong. But it was, but for Steve Rogers, yes. So because there have been quite a few other characters who have played him, so I could see what people would say. Oh, I like others as well. So I could see the point. Mr. Keith had said number 4 wrong. Someone else like Sam Wilson can be Captain America. Marvel just needs to commit to it and develop the character that has the mantle. Like I said, I could see it. I could see the argument because have been other great characters that have taken the mantle. Well, I'm just someone who likes to see Steve Rogers as Captain.
There's no reason why they can't be Cap at the same time like they are now anyway.
Yep.
I'm perfectly fine with Sam being Cap.
And Bush had said he should always be Cap in some kind of way.
Yep.
Bless you, Mighty Mike. And Dan had said, yeah, the Falcon is too important a character in comics history to take on someone else's identity. That's what I'm kind of when it comes to Sam Wilson. I like him as Falcon.
Yep, I do too. And that's a great character in his own right. I agree. He carved that path. He made that character.
Yeah, and Bruce had said that Mr. Keith, he says he agrees with that his statement. And then, yeah, Mr. Keith said, see, Bruce has my back. So, like I said, just as a Steve Rogers fan, I like to see Steve always as captain, but I could see other points too. And then number 5 was with the new Street Fighter movie will be better than the new Masters of the Universe movie. And Uncle Gira's kind of like you, where like you said, just so much more could go wrong. And I see it, especially with Jared Leto's Trouble, and he's playing Skeletor. Right there off the bat, it's looking like it's going to be a bomb. It's a shame, because I really like He-Man and Masters of the Universe. Dan had said wrong. Damn, that he thinks Masters of the Universe would be better. Yeah. So, it'd be cool to have 2 great movies, but I'm kind of not thinking it, But we shall see.
That we shall.
Yeah, so both those movies scheduled to come out next year. And that wraps up our right or wrong 5 statements today. I was the man with the 5.
All right.
And actually I had this schedule right in front of me, and I had messed up. I did right or wrong before I had done the random panel, or I did random panel of the week before I did the right or wrong. So once again, there's your random panel of the week.
Bang,
bang,
bang.
Captain America backing that thing up.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, solve a fight. So with that already out of the way, it means you know what it's time for.
It's time for
F.
List. All right, guys. You may be American, but are you as American as this F-lister? America. Even below him, it even says awesome.
Wow.
Very familiar. I feel like we've seen this character in many classic comic books. I feel like we've seen him among Avengers before. Yeah, he's a Captain America ripoff.
Rob Liefeld.
Yes, you knew that. And there he is. There's a more promotional. There's a promotional picture for Agent America. The fight for freedom begins.
Even has a shield. Very nice.
Yeah.
Let's not even try to be,
Yeah. Don't even try to hide it.
Yeah.
Agent America. And there he is. And look at even his villain. Kind of reminds me of the Red Skull.
Mm-hmm.
And there he is again. So he was changed to, first Agent America, but he had to be changed to Fighting American. And look at him right there. Look at those arms. Just way bigger than his body. Those arms don't fit his body. There's some more of him.
Fighting American.
Fighting American. And there you go.
Yeah, they're terrible.
Good old Rob Liefeld. It was a side-by-side. The Captain America with the huge breasts right next to Agent America. And he says, "It's not over until I say it's over." So edgy.
His muscles aren't even in the human anatomy.
No.
And look at that right there. Look at that. With his feet up in the air. trying to show that, hey, look at that. Rob Liefeld can draw feet that aren't super tiny.
Mhm.
Little tiny V.
In case you forgot, see, so sometimes he was the Fighting American, but originally he was set to be Agent America. The Great American Hero returns. But that's not all. There he is in some action and some fighting. And if you look at the bottom one, he says, Strike. Yeah. And there he is with Spice, and she says, what's the matter, Pops? Afraid you can't keep up?
Oh.
And then here you go, one of the coolest, one of the greatest images in comic book history. Boom. There you go.
There you
Agent
go.
America riding a huge missile. Look at all those muscles he has. Just, yeah, he certainly does not look human. And that is a huge missile that he's just riding with this huge hand. Because actually, the missile's not, I don't know, is the missile huge or is he just that huge? Because he takes up most of the missile.
He does.
Bicep is bigger than his head.
Yeah, well, that's
his
for
whole
sure.
body, yeah. And, yeah, if it's
Little teeny
calves,
tiny head.
and it goes calves, you just.
No shame. No shame at
Yeah.
all.
And Boo says, is this a spoof? Character seems pretty familiar. And freedom of speech protest. Well, what could you say? You know, he just.
Well, on that bomb, he's doing his best Slim Pickens impersonation.
I think he was stopping the bomb or something, but he was fighting this guy in the war that deals with the character who is a blatant ripoff of Red Skull. So, would anybody? There's a lot of history to the Fighting American. All right. Well, Dan Kelly coming in with a little bit of history for you guys. In case you didn't, the Fighting American, was originally created by Jack Kirby and Joe Simon. After Liefeld left the Cap book, he did Agent America to basically tell the stories he wanted to for Cap. Then Marvel sued him. Would you like to take a guess a little bit as to the history of this character, comic book wise?
Well, I'm going to go, with what Dan said. I thought he was an older character that they had retooled, but if Simon and Kirby had created him, then I'm not gonna diss him too much. But those images we saw were pretty ridiculous.
That one or that one.
Somebody that muscular, it's not going to be that flexible. Yeah.
And don't forget who. Yeah. All right, so there's a lot to him. And Bruce has even said, like, the Black Skull. Oh, what was his name? It actually wasn't that much of a the name. Yeah. And this is his biggest nemesis, Mexican restaurants. No, he's a good. He is a superhero. He is a good guy. He's not the villain. Yeah. So, like Dan had said, and it is true. So, Fighting American was originally, like I said, created by Jack Kirby and Joe Simon. And then years later, Rob Liefeld was put on to Captain America. And then when licensing problems, issues, this and that, he left. He was no longer part of it. So he wanted to create another character with, with all the stuff he had already written for Captain America. And then there was Agent America. But he got in trouble, got sued. So then he just went on to took that story and didn't change the character. Agent America became there's still Fighting America. He became Fighting American. And then he fought characters like Smash, who was also in our F list a while back. Smash was literally like the Hulk, but just purple.
Mm-hmm.
Like Hulk smash, right? This and that. And he would just say Smash. Like when Smash gets mad, Smash smashes. So there we go. He was basically so he was a farm boy, but other than that, Fighting American, I'm not talking about the original older one. I'm talking about this one Rob Liefeld made when he took over to be Agent America / Fighting American. His story is practically Captain America's. He was the one who went for the experiment, it, made him a super soldier. Then the person who did it died, so he's the only one who could have it. And then literally took on characters who were a Red Skull ripoff, a Hulk ripoff. Then there was another character who was like a Thor ripoff as well. So, yeah.
Did the Fighting American predate Captain America?
Fighting American did not.
Okay.
I believe Fighting American might have been in the 50s.
Okay.
And Mr. Keith said, yeah, they really need to lean into his ability to change the size of his arms and legs at random. That is one power they don't mention. They just say the usual: invulnerability, agility, speed, strength. But yeah, I think that truly is a power because, I mean, look at him here.
Mm-hmm.
Then look at him here. Then look at him. Where is he? Right there. Yeah. His anatomy changes in almost every panel. Agent America, guys. Yeah, so he took on characters basically like Captain America. That's what he did. And Bruce says, is Agent America? Let's see. Is Agent America the Fighting American? Yes, he was. But yeah, so he was going to be Agent America. He was going to be Captain America from Rob Liefeld. Then was taken off. He couldn't do Captain America anymore, so he said, okay, I'm basically just going to copy the character and make Agent America. They said, no, you can't do that. And then he said, okay, then I'll just work on Fighting American. And how did I forget to mention that his name is, Bruce says, is his name Roger Steves?
I like that. I love that, Boosh.
That would be funny.
It's not exactly that much of a copy, but they just took the name of the original Fighting American and called him John Flagg. Because he's so American, his last name is also Flagg.
That's terrible.
So there we go. Agent America. And I like how the company happens to be called Awesome. I think it just goes perfect with the Agent America. Awesome. And yeah. And I was very surprised to find that Jeff Loeb had actually done a lot of the writing for the stories.
That's horrifying.
Yeah.
Yeah. And Stephen Platt actually did a lot of the artwork in it. Because I was like, whoa, I thought it was just Rob Liefeld.
And Platt was good too.
Yes, that was the most shocking thing about the character of the most shocking thing about the character of the Agent America. So I say that Agent America, John Flagg, goes into the F list, and I say he stays there. What do you guys say about old Agent America, John Flagg?
Bye.
So Mike's putting him on the F list too. Because he was created by Simon and Kirby, I'm going to put him in the D list. I'm going to put him right on the edge, and and I like his colors. He's the red, white, and blue. And what Liefeld has done is terrible, but just because of this Simon and Kirby connection, I'm going to say he's D list.
Okay, so you say D list. I would go because the Fighting American, the original one, there's a lot of history to him, and that's why I didn't want to show pictures of the original. I'm like, that's a whole. For me, I took it as that's like a whole kind of other story. He has a whole background. He's had a whole comic series. I'm just kind of basing it on just the Agent America who became the Fighting American. So, okay, so Uncle Gary says he's a D list or D minus list.
D minus. D minus, just because of the history of the creation. And that's the only reason.
Due to the history, all right.
And I hate to put our flag on the F list. And he's wearing the flag. He's wearing our flag.
Yeah, so Dan Kelly had said Agent America, yes. Fighting American, no.
I can go with
he can wave the F list flag.
Well, there you go. He's a flag bearer.
And Mr. Keith says, see, someone can take up the mantle of Captain America. I rest my case.
No, Mr. Keith, you're right. There you go.
There you go. John Flagg.
John Flagg.
Yeah. So there we go. All right, then. We say, and next, I'll leave the one with the original Fighting American off the list. But for me, I say that Rob Liefeld's Agent America one, for me, goes on there.
Well,
I think, like Dan Kelly said, Fighting America, no. Agent America, yes.
I can support that.
All right, then. With
So
all
if that's
that,
the criteria, F list then.
all right, so like that sounds good. We got ourselves an Agent America. And let's see, is he really even wearing our... right there, he's got him.
You know what? He should be Agent America.
Agent America.
Yeah,
Agent America.
I think so. Yeah, we can just change his outfit, change his colors.
He fit in with the current time. Agent America.
So there we go. He can go in there. But now it's time we move on from Agent America, and now we get on to the classic, the man himself, Steve Rogers, Captain America, issue number 332, The Choice. There we go. I've got mine out so I can read a little bit.
Abraham Lincoln's crying in the corner
Yes.
box, shedding a tear.
Yeah, that is quite a cover. That's what first drew me to it. Actually, you know, say that it was the Code X station's comic character of the week that drew me to this issue, because we on the America episode, this is, I'm trying to remember if it was Sal or who had this as one of their top covers for Captain America. So I saw it, I liked it, I looked for it, and eventually one day got it. And I was like, okay, we're getting close to the 4th. I won't be on for next week, but let's do a Captain America issue. So I jumped onto the Captain America 332, The Choice. And before we get down to it, Bruce said Agent F list. Yes, I like that. Yeah. All right. So Captain America, as we see, it's Captain America 332, The Choice, as we saw on the cover, that it says Captain America, no more. But I'll read off some of the credits, with the writer being Mark Grunwald, the penciler being Tom Morgan, the inker being Bob McLeod, the letterer being Diana Elbers, and the colorist being Ken Fudunovitz, the editor being Don Daly, and the editor-in-chief was Jim Shooter. All right, so we got a guy, Warhead. He jumps onto the Washington Monument, and what does he say? He says, make war some more. Warhead, right? So he's clearly nuts, and he says he has a nuclear bomb, and he wants the U.S. to be tougher, that the young generation, they need to go to war, and things like that. So that the bomb's going to go off in 24 hours. So we got that going on, but we also have Captain America, Steve Rogers, as he's being taken in. He's being given an ultimatum. He's being told that, you know, after all these years, you know, you were frozen, but you got paid money, and you're still property of the U.S. government. So Captain says, like, you know, you have to work for us. You got to leave your teams. Like, you're not Captain America. You're not Captain Shield or Captain Solo. You're Captain America. You work for us. So they give him an ultimatum that he's got to do it, and he's got 24 hours to choose if he's going to remain or he will be replaced as Captain America, because they also say, you know, your outfit is ours, your shield is ours. So Steve is really trying to decide. He's even calling a lot of people. So we do see quite a few big names in this comic book, more for quick parts, and he's calling them, talking, getting some, you know, advice from them, and he even speaks with Ram, the boy Ram. And after that call with the boy, and the boy says, you know, I always, you know, kind of have your back, even when I start dating. And then Captain makes up his decision. He knows what he's going to do. But at the same time, with Warhead being on the Washington Monument, and he's shooting at people, all the things, we've got John Walker, who, you know, we first see him, he's doing finger push-ups. He's doing what he's done, like over 500.
Like Uncle Gary.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he's pulling Uncle Gary, over 500 push-ups just with his pointer fingers. So his friend Ethan's like, hey, John, you know, we've got this issue. It'd be better than going to a bunch of rallies. Take care of it. And I did like some humor there when he goes and he's like, you may know me. I'm super patriot. And the guy's like, no, I don't. The security or police officer's like, no, I don't know you. Get back behind. But eventually he goes forward, and spoilers for this issue, because pretty much we'll give as to why I give the rating is because what makes this issue big is because of what happens. So John Walker does actually stop Warhead, and eventually Captain America Steve Rogers hangs it up. He gives away his, he gives back. His decision is he's done being Captain America, if that's how it's going to be. That he represents, not just like he even said before when he was thinking, oh, is it the American people? Is it, he's like, oh, these people, they're American politicians, and I represent the American people and the American dream. And I'm, this is my dream. And eventually he gives it up and he says he's not Captain America. And as the last part says, because it's going through 24 hours, it's giving the times of day. And it says 8:12 a.m., the end of an era. As Captain walks away. I think this is an interesting issue. Boo says, should have read an Agent America story. When I was finding some of those pictures, I did truly think, maybe one day I'll pick these. I don't know who I'll, give that torture to, but I'll be up for it. But with this story, this is an interesting one. Not super action-packed. There is some stuff going on with Warhead, but, it's big in the sense of, Steve Rogers being made to make a tough decision. And in the end, he leaves. He is done being Captain America. So, I'm wondering, Uncle Gary, I pass it to you. What are some of your thoughts on this issue?
Well, I think the best thing about this issue is this cover.
I do agree. I do like that cover. That is what draws me to it. So
that is a great cover. So the idea behind it, where the government, what they're going to do, I think that's an interesting idea. It's, of course, been done before. That's one reason why he gave up and he became nomad earlier. Not that the government wanted it, but he was disillusioned with his country. But the execution of it, I didn't like so much. The art was just okay for me. And the phone a friend, where Cap is calling all these different people on the phone, getting their opinions on what he could do, what he should do. I just, it's one thing to call the Falcon. It's one thing to call a few, but when he ends up calling, he calls D-Man in the hospital, man. What D-Man is going to be able to, what advice is D-Man going to be able to give him?
Like he even did say, he's like, I've only been barely doing
a hero for 2 weeks. Yeah. So it's just, I just thought the phone a friend thing was just a little ridiculous on how many friends he phoned. And so, I just thought, this is Captain America, one of the greatest leaders in comic book history. And he's having to call all these people with his existential crisis. So I just thought that was, I just didn't dig that. And so I'm, this is just a fair to Midland comic with me, with art and with story. Like I said, the germ of the idea of the story I like better. The end, where he turns everything in, is intriguing, of course. The whole thing with Warhead, I just thought was pretty stupid. That he's gonna detonate a warhead unless America declares war on somebody within 12 hours. He doesn't care who, just declare war on somebody.
Yeah, even if he says, anybody.
Yeah, because people are weak. So I thought he was kind of stupid. So I'm giving this book. Or do you want to review? I mean, we do the numbers later. So
we can have it. I'll hear you. I'm pretty much good.
You want my number? Okay. So the Sunny 10 out of 10. No, that's not going to happen.
I don't think it's happening today.
I'm giving this a very, very generous, and it's because of this cover, 5.5 out of 10.
Oh, Uncle Gary.
The cover makes it above 500.
All right. Before we get to mine, isn't 10, but it's not that low. Boo said, did I hear Sonny say Super Patriots Savage Dragon name? Oh.
Ooh.
Hey, but yeah, I mean, I think that's your way of saying we definitely got to start reviewing some Savage Dragon, because we haven't done that yet on this show.
I will not be here for that episode. You make that a Dan Kelly or a Sal episode. Slab the Sal guy. Make it one of his.
Yeah.
And
Dan, speaking of Dan, he says Cap and D-Man were tight around this time. He was a pretty big supporting character for a while. Yes, he was.
He was. I just still don't think Captain America is going to call Dennis Dumpy for advice on this.
Chris says D-Man certainly can't teach him personal hygiene.
That's right. D-Man stunk. He was a stinker. That's right.
Boo said he liked the D-Man character.
I like D-Man okay. I like D-Man okay. Let me tell you something. Yeah, D-Man, I have no problems with him as a character. I just don't think Cap's calling him for advice.
So for me, actually that part I didn't really have a problem with the calling. I'm like, oh, he's kind of, confused about things. But like I said, Warhead though, I think Warhead is I'm like for a big issue because this leads to the whole Captain story arc.
Mm-hmm.
So but that with US Agent and everything. So I'm like, and that I like that, and I have the Epic Collection, plan to read it very soon. So this leads to that, and then like I think this is one of my favorite Captain covers.
Mm-hmm.
It was a big part for the character. So it does get some points with that. I did like the artwork. I didn't have a problem with it. Certain parts, just like with the rain, with Captain kind of like leaning as the water or the rain is hitting. I'm like, okay, that's pretty good art for me. But like I said, Warhead, I do think was, like I said, poorly executed. Where he reminds you of an F-lister. Like, wait, what's his point? And he just kind of he wants war. Okay, I can. There are crazies out there, but he's kind of like anybody, whether it be the Iranians or the Russians. Like, okay, it doesn't seem.
He dropped the lunch his mother made for him. I mean, come on.
They give me a laugh. They give me a laugh
Come
when he
on.
goes up there. Oh, I dropped my ration. That was good. But for me, I did actually enjoy this one. Like I said, it's not perfect. There are mistakes. Like I said, with Warhead, I think being the biggest for me, Warhead being the biggest downfall for this issue. But I enjoy it. I think Captain America, no more, as it says. Captain America 332. The choice, I give it a 7.8 out of 10.
Okay.
I still enjoy it. It was, like I said, big leading to big stuff. So it is important to the Captain America story. And even though I love, like I said, earlier in the show, like I said, I love Steve Rogers always being captain, but I thought it led to some interesting things, like with John Walker taking over, but Captain America still, as we know, he eventually made his way back to being.
Well, I mean, America. I agree that it led to some interesting things, right? But I couldn't review that single issue with what it led to because we were reviewing the single issue.
That is right, yeah.
So that's why I didn't add any of that as elevating my score.
And thank you, Chris, as he says, hello, all you beautiful people. And hello to you as well. Glad you're joining us. And Dan says he says, I'll give it a 7 based on the cover and the story it led into. Okay, so
that's valid. The cover is definitely the strong part of this book.
Yeah, so that's even too. I was looking, I'm like, wait, do I show it? Or, well, we both had the issue.
Mm-hmm.
And Mike had the invisible issue. There we go. So there we go. Captain America, number 332. Has a bit mixed. I was at,
That's 330.
330. Yeah. All right. So yeah, 331. That was with the. Then they did mention that one with GI Max.
Mm-hmm.
Spoosh says he never read this story, so everybody feel free to check it out. Let us know what you think. Are you more on Uncle Gary's side, and a 5.5 is your generous rating, or are you more with me and you did enjoy it? Or are you somebody who thinks it's one of the, are you going with the 10 out of 10 for it? Or are you going with like a 1 out of 10? Let us know. And now I put this story aside and tell us what we'll be reviewing next time. Because next week, there will not be an episode of the Codex podcast, but the week after, we will be back. And we have agreed, the three of us will review Superman for all seasons.
I can guarantee you right now that book will get a much higher review from me.
Yeah, I'm gonna assume so. I'd be extremely shocked. I think it'd be one of the biggest shockers if we were like, Lex Luthor is the villain versus Warhead.
Yeah, Sale, Loeb. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
One part I forgot that I did like what that Captain America was. What I said that I found funny was Ethan saying to John, he calls him Old Bean for something. He's like, "Don't worry, Old Bean." I'm like, that's what I should remember. Old Bean.
Old Bean.
Yeah, that's what people usually say. Or maybe back in the 80s.
That's what people said back where Sonny was born.
Oh, Old Bean.
Old Bean.
All right, all you old beans, it is time to wrap up this episode. Say thank you all. As Mr. Keith says, great show.
Thank you, Mr. Keith. Thank you for participating.
And then Bruce said, no doubting the cover is pretty cool.
Oh, there we go. That's cool. There's Ricky. Look at Ricky.
There we go.
There we go. Look at
Ricky.
Ricky.
Get Ricky in the show.
Good boy. Ricky's a good boy. Ricky's a good boy.
He's a good boy.
Oh, Ricky's a good boy.
Good. Nice to meet you, Ricky. And nice, it was good and quiet, enjoying the show. And I hope you all enjoyed the show as well. Remember, we've got stuff. Uncle Gary, what do we got for everybody?
Oh, look at us. We are positively dripping with the socials. And we want nothing better than give them to you, baby. Hit that button.
Hit it.
Right. Mike, where could we get some merch or meet the team?
That would be www.thecodexstation.com.
That is right. And remember, everybody, and Miss Bush says, "Help us show you, Cookie Kids." Thank you.
And what did we decide? The Codex station is the station of no kink shaming.
That's
No
right.
kink
Yeah,
shaming.
yeah.
No
Safe
kink
for
shaming.
kink.
Safe for kink.
Safe for kink. All right. So, with that,
Lost now.
before I let you go, remember, you could win some comic books right there. Codex Station's June giveaway. Get in. We've only got a few days left. But as Sonny Crew, I say thank you all for joining us. Hope you have a great week, a great couple weeks coming up. Stay safe for the 4th. Just stay safe in general. People, there are some people who are wild like Warhead out there, so please try to be careful. Take care of yourselves. And we will all see you on another episode in 2 weeks of the Code X podcast. Take care.
See ya.
Night, everybody.
Remember,
Happy holiday.
the Codex Station. What was it? We were kinks or what?
Kinks.
Oh,
Safe for kinks.
safe for kink. We no kink shaming here.
No kink
We're
shaming.
safe for kinks. Yep.